The final way we need to look at the colonial settlements is through their economics. Now, it's important to remember that geography plays a big role in this. We have to look at the geography, meaning the climate, the soil, the growing season, and it's important to note that in the three regions, the New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Southern, they all have very different economies. New England is largely based on their location near the ocean, and the fact that they have a short growing season and very rocky soil. Now, because they have the short growing season, they have the rocky soil, they largely only have subsistence farming. That means that they only grow enough to try to be able to survive. They don't have any extra to sell off later. Also, because of their location, there's a lot of forests around. And the British see this as an advantage. It's cheaper to cut down the lumber and build ships in New England rather than try to cut down the lumber, send it all the way back to the mainland of Britain, and then build ships there. So New England has a lot of shipbuilding. Because there's a lot of ships there, they take on both merchants and fishermen. So merchant means trade. They're gonna be the traders between the colonies and the British. They also go into fishing. The Mid-Atlantic is going to have a geography with a bit more of a long growing season, and it's going to have a much better soil. So with that fertile soil and with the longer growing season, and because the people that settled in the Mid-Atlantic regions tended to be have large families, they had large family farms where they grew a lot of food stuff. Sometimes these are referred to as cash crops, so be careful. But it's things like wheat, barley, oats, anything you can make alcohol out of, really. And the third region is the southern region. And the southern region has the plantation system, which is largely based on slavery, and they're going to be growing cash crops. Cash crops mean tobacco, indigo, rice at this time. And it's all based on the slave system. Please note, there's no cotton yet. Cotton doesn't come until after the American Revolution. But they're going to put all of this stuff on the ships of New England. They're going to trade with Barbados and the West Indies. They're going to trade with Africa. They're going to trade with Europe. Sometimes this is known as the triangle trade. But it's important to know that all of this is based on a system known as mercantilism. Mercantilism is the idea that the colonies exist only for the benefit of the mother country, meaning Britain. So when the Americans were trying to trade, they were only allowed to trade with Britain and other British colonies. Even if they could get a better deal from France, can't trade with France. This is all wrapped up in something called the Navigation Acts. But this mercantilist policy means that only the Americans can only trade with other British territories.